Hey, what's up, Nerd Squad? We're back with another NFL record prediction. Before I get started, make sure to smash that like button, and let's jump right into the record prediction for today. Today, we're going to be predicting the Baltimore Ravens record for 2020. Already, I think the Ravens will have another year of having a borderline elite defense. I think it'll easily be top 10, arguably top 5 this year. Lamar Jackson brings that offense to just crazy levels. I think he might regress maybe a little bit, but I still think he's going to absolutely ball out. And yeah, it's going to be a scary team. Great coaching as well. So week 1, I will have the Browns losing to the Ravens in Baltimore. Baltimore is just overall just a better team. Browns, I think, could be pretty competitive in these games. So I do think they'll split here. Browns are one of those teams that have like 13-3 type of potential, but just don't have the right coaching there and just can't bring the pieces together. So I do think they'll split here. I think the Browns will get lucky in week 14 and take that one. Week 2, the Ravens are beating the Texans. Texans are really just... I like their receivers. I like Deshaun Watson. They have a pretty solid defense. But Bill O'Brien is honestly ruining the franchise there, and I just don't see Texans having an incredible season. I see them somewhere around 7-9 or 8-8. So, week 3, now this one's going to surprise a lot of people. I'm actually having the Ravens beat the Chiefs. Now this is going to be a really close game. Probably the most exciting game of the whole year. I'm very excited for this game. I think both teams are going to score, upwards of 35 to 40 points. There's going to be fireworks on offense. This is going to be a fun game. But I do think the Ravens pull it off in a close one. I think they'll win by about a field goal or so. But it'll be a fun one. Week 4, Ravens beat the Redskins. No debate there. Or whatever Washington's team will be. I don't know who their new mascot or what their new mascot will be. So I do think the Ravens will sweep the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals even have a shot at beating them either time. I have them beating the Eagles. Eagles have a solid defense. Carson Wentz is, pretty good when he's healthy. They have, more solid receivers this year, too. I could see the Eagles possibly making some noise. I see them, around that 10-6, 11-5 type of mark. But I do think the Ravens beat them. I have them splitting with the Steelers. I don't see the Ravens going into Pittsburgh and beating them with Big Ben there. Now, yeah, all possibilities are on the table, but with Big Ben there, it's going to be prime time. Big Ben plays incredibly well in prime time. So week 12, that primetime game in Pittsburgh, I don't think the Ravens are going to win that. I really don't. So then jumping into week 9, I think the Ravens will beat the Colts. I'm one of the few people that isn't very high on the Colts this year. I'm seeing a lot of people saying they'll be around 11-5 or 12-4. Why? Phillip Rivers is now 38 or 39. Last year with the Chargers, who had better weapons than the Colts, he didn't play very well. Yeah, the Colts have an elite offensive line, but I don't think that's going to be enough to give Phillip Rivers, a dominant season. Their defense is solid. I'm not going to say it's incredible. I'm not going to say it's a top 10 defense, but it's a solid defense. But I do think the Ravens beat them in this one. I think they beat the Patriots. I think them having Cam Newton, it'll make this a closer game than a lot of people might think. But ultimately, I think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens win that. Week 11, I actually think they'll beat the Titans. Titans are kind of a one-man team right now. They've got Derrick Henry, obviously. He's the guy I'm talking about. But Tannehill and A.J. Brown are also really, really good. So I could see them being, I could see this being a competitive game. Obviously the Titans beat the Ravens in the playoffs last year, but I think Lamar Jackson's gonna, definitely beat him in the regular season this year. So I already talked about that other Ravens and Steelers game, so I don't need to mention that again. Week 13, we have the Cowboys and Ravens. This is where I think we see an upset. I think the Cowboys at this point are going to be really, really fighting and struggling to get into the playoffs, even with 7 seeds. And this is a prove-it game for the Cowboys. I think Mike McCarthy draws up some extra special plays for this game, and I think the Cowboys defense shows up here. They tend to show up for really good offenses. Every time they play the Saints, they hold them to a very, very low score. It's a good defense. And I think Dak and the Cowboys are, they really need to get into the playoffs here, and I think this is an upset for them. I already mentioned that Browns game. I think they'll split there. And the last 3 games are easy for me to say. They'll crush the Jags. I think they'll crush the Giants, and they'll crush the Bengals. So overall, I have the Baltimore Ravens at 13-3. I could potentially see them sweeping the Browns and beating the Cowboys. So I could see them going 15-1, honestly. I think they have the potential to be that good. But you've also got to realize there's a possibility that they lose to the Chiefs. If the Steelers truly, truly ball out, they have the chance of getting swept by the Steelers. But again, we don't know yet. Titans can surprise them too. Derrick Henry could just ball out against them again and, run for 250 rushing yards against them. So we don't really know there, but I have them at 13-3. Let me know if I'm a little too high on the Ravens, or if I'm too low, or if I'm just right. If you liked what you saw today, make sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video, and I will see you next time. Later.